Newcastle's Muslim stars have been told not to play in new kit. From Wednesday 10th of October 2012, the club announced a £24 million shirt deal with controversial moneylenders Wonga on Tuesday, and now the Muslim Council of Britain have attempted to intervene. Not the Council of Wisdom like I've been mocking with FIFA, but Newcastle United have received widespread criticism, including from us, after unveiling the 4-year deal with the short-term loan company, and the MCB, Muslim Council of Britain, has now piled on further pressure. 4 Muslim players represented the club against Manchester United last Sunday. Demba Ba, Papi Cisse, Cheick Tiote, Hatem Ben Arfa, and they are all now being urged to make a stand. Sheikh Ibrahim Mogra, the Assistant Secretary General of the MCB, said there are 2 aspects to this. We have the rulings of the religious law, and we have the individual's choice and decision on how they want to follow or not follow that rule. The idea is to protect the vulnerable and the needy from exploitation by the rich and powerful. When they are lending and charging large amounts of interest, it means the poor will have short-term benefit from the loan, but long-term difficulty in paying it back because the rate of interest is not something they can keep up with. He added, the Islamic system is based on a non-interest based system of transaction. The club did its best to offset criticism of the new deal by announcing that the Sports Direct Arena would revert to its original name of St James's Park, but is not prevented MPs and large numbers of people through social media declaring their disgust. Now, this Wonga deal could potentially cause a rift in the team. And those are important players to Newcastle's cause. Demba Ba, Papi Cisse, Cheick Tiote, and Hatem Ben Arfa. They're being urged to make a stand based on religious grounds. Now, this is kind of a touchy subject. I'm not religious, but there are a lot of people who are. I think Samir Nasri is as well, isn't he? I think Samir Nasri is Muslim as well. But the fact of the matter is, for me, politics and football should never mix. And also, religion and football should never mix. When religion starts kind of encroaching on football and politics as well, it's murky waters. It's very much murky waters. But the thing is, without getting on a political high horse, you can't enforce Sharia law in this country because this is not a Muslim country. This is very much beginning to be a secular nation. So you can't really impose that. And them trying to impose it on a football club, that's even more so you can't enforce that. Because at the end of the day, the football clubs are run like businesses and they're making their money off it. And you can't impose Sharia law on a football club. You can urge players to, but you can't force their hand. Because at the end of the day, football is basically their job. And no matter what you think, you've got to do your job. And if you don't do your job, you're getting fired. And if you do get fired, is the Muslim Council of Britain going to pay your severance pay? Are they going to pay you dole money? It's just like the thing where with one of Carlos Mencia's jokes about the Taco Bell dog being offensive. It's like saying some people, I think it was the person from LULAC, which is basically supposed to represent the Mexicans, saying, oh yeah, it makes Mexicans look stupid. And it's like, no, it's a dog. And basically, that's just one person's opinion of it. So the Muslim Council of Britain may not represent every single Muslim. But the weirdest thing is, there's been I don't know if there's ever been like any Muslim players who have played for teams who have been sponsored by alcohol, for instance, or gambling agencies or anything like that. So I don't know. It's a weird one, but I don't think the Muslim Council of Britain should be allowed to impose Sharia law onto Newcastle and stopping them from basically helping the club make money. I don't think. But Gman, what do you reckon? And then we're going to throw it out as well.
You know what? I'm in the same agreement as you, and I just look at it simplistically and not religiously or anything like that, to be honest. And say, to be honest, it ain't got nothing to do with it hasn't got nothing to do with the Muslim Council of Britain. They don't own Newcastle. It ain't got nothing to do with them, to be honest. And in terms of trying to legislate what members wear, yeah, Like these are human beings with their own chests.
Yeah.
Like I understand about the morality of the whole movement, like in terms of telling them not to wear the shirts, but at the end of the day, you know, they're footballers.
Yeah.
Where's the moral in football anyway? You get me?
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying? Where's the moral in football anyway? Like in certain things that happen and go on, and players are knowing for, and I'm pretty sure, you know, like you said before, Nasri moved for a bigger paycheck from Arsenal and blah blah blah, stuff like that. You know, where was the morality in that?
True. That's true.
Just looking at it in a simplistic sense. So that is it's a big what's up with that moment for me, and it's like, what's up with that?
Yeah. But I mean, it's one of them ones. I mean, I think it's a case of Mike Harniman. You said something quite interesting in the chat. Mike?
Yeah, basically, just it's probably better just to let them, you know, go their own separate ways about keep it separate between the religious beliefs and what's actually happening, pretty much.
No, I hear that. I mean, it's one of them ones, but I mean, for me, it could potentially open Pandora's box. I mean, I can understand what you were saying in the chat about the club should respect people's religious beliefs, but at the same time, you sign up to the club. I'm sure in personal terms, in your when you're agreeing personal terms, you can say, yeah, I am of Islamic faith, I am of Christian or Catholic faith, I am a Buddhist, whatever the case may be. I'm sure you could say that and say, yeah, is there anything that may contravene my faith? And if there is anything that potentially could, then you leave the club. And at the end of the day, if Bar, Cisse, Tiote or Ben Arthur feel strongly enough, then maybe they need to leave Newcastle. But I mean, I haven't heard them say anything about it. But
you know what? I think this is just publicity for personally, because at the end of the day, this is another way I look at it. Have we heard the Muslim Council say anything about anyone that watches ITV who play adverts of Wonga.com? You know, have we heard them say don't watch it? Have we ever heard that come out before?
No.
Have we? Yeah,
but it's the same as Muslim players playing for teams sponsored by alcohol companies or gambling.
It's not being said before. It's
like Bet365 or something.
To be honest, I understand what everyone's issues with the Wonga.com whole, you know, advertisement. Yeah, it is kind of sickening with their interest rates and whatnot, but not like someone said on TalkSport the other day, not everybody and not every idiot or not everybody is going to go out there now and look at Newcastle tops and go, yeah, I'm going to borrow money from Wonga.
Yeah,
you know, it's not like everyone's now flying with Emirates. Every Arsenal fan's flying with Emirates.
No, exactly.
It's not like every Liverpool fans ran out there and started buying Warrior Garms.
True. It's not as if we're all banking with Standard Chartered now. So it's not like everyone's gonna use DHL for their shipping because it's on Man United's training tops.
Precisely.
So it's one of them ones, but it's an interesting one. Does anyone else want to jump in as well before we move on?
I'll have a quick word.
Go on, shoot, Jay. Go on.
As we've seen in football, really, it's money over everything. So, I mean, from the club's point of view, if Cisse or Bar, who are in question at the moment, I mean, you know, if pending the move to Newcastle, like, I don't think that there would be enough to, do you know what I mean, jeopardize the move, as in whether it was a money company or an alcohol company. At the end of the day, it's a job. Yeah. And that's the most important thing. I'm not saying that it's bad that it may go against their religion, but I mean, it's a job. And you see people doing jobs every day that may conflict their religion, but it's down to the actual beliefs that they actually have. Do you know what I mean? And if you know within yourself that you're full-blown Muslim and you stick to the Muslim laws or the Muslim rules, then at the end of the day, Newcastle's just paying the wages, you know, and it's just that simple, really.
No, it's true. It's a very true point. I mean, at the end of the day, it is that money over matter, really. But you know
it's
what?
like saying, you know, if I was a Muslim, would I go to my workplace and they were serving pork dishes? Would it upset me? Well, no, I'm not there to eat the food. Do you know what I mean? I'm there to do a job and get paid at the end of the day.
Very true point. Very, very good point there. I mean, Mike Harniman said a couple of things in the chat. He said the club will do what benefits them the most, and if that's going to upset the minority, as long as it pleases the majority, they'll carry on doing so. So, it's true points. True points there.